So to start off this Mardi Gras makeup look, I'm just going to take my MAC Painterly Paint Pot and use that to prime my eyelids. And then I'm just going to take this nice skin colored shade from the Morphe 35B palette and just set my crease and my brow bone with that. And then I'm going to take this hot pink shade, also from the same palette, which I will be using throughout this entire tutorial, and I'm just going to be popping this in my upper crease and making sure that I blend it out really nicely, and then kind of winging it out on that outer corner. And then I'm just going to take this purple shade from the same palette and I'm going to put this all in my outer V and on the outer corner of my eyelid, and then also just blending it into my crease. And to darken up the look a little bit, I'm going to mix that purple shade with this black from the palette and just darken up that outer portion of my lid and blend that into my crease as well. And just make sure that everything is nice and blended together. I will go back and go in with those last two colors and just make sure that everything is blended out and nice and gradual. And now I'm just going to take my concealer, it's the Maybelline FitMe concealer, and I'm just going to cut my crease. So I'm just placing this on my lid from the inner corner to about halfway onto my lid and just cutting it nice and sharp. And then I'm going to take this bright yellow shade from the palette and just pack that right on top of that concealer with a flat brush. And now I'm just going to go back in with the purple and the black and just slightly blend it into the yellow so it's not super harsh. I still wanted it to be a little bit harsh, just not like a straight line, you know what I mean? So that's why I did that. And then I'm just taking my concealer again and popping this underneath my eyes just so that I can get ready to do the lower lash line. And to set that concealer, I'm taking my Airspun powder, the translucent extra coverage, I think it's called, and just setting all of that concealer so that all of the colors on the lower lash line blend out nice and well. And then I'm taking my Inglot Gel Liner in black, it's number 77, and I'm just going to be tight lining and popping it on my waterline as well. And for my lower lash line, I'm going in with this green shade, and I'm just going to blend this all underneath my lower lashes and slightly out into the outer corner underneath that purple sharp line that we made. And then I'm going to take this dark green shade and just define it a little bit more closer to the lash line. And then I'm going to take the black on an angled eyeliner brush and just smoke out that eyeliner onto the lower lash line. Now for the fun part, I'm going to take my heavy metal glitter liner from Urban Decay. It's in the shade Midnight Cowboy, and I'm just going to pop this all over that yellow shade that we put on the lid, because you have to have glitter for Mardi Gras. It's like a rule, I feel. And then I'm going to take my Tarte Pro Glow palette in the shade Strobe from there, and I'm just going to be using that to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Big Shot Mascara and just popping this on my upper and lower lashes before I pop on my falsies, which are the Eylure Luxe lashes in the style Baroque. And now I'm going to take my Tarte Pro Glow palette, which I dropped and got it all over my sweatshirt. I'm going to take the shade called Shade, and I'm just going to pop that on my cheekbones. It's just a cream contour color, and I figured I would do that to be a little bit extra on Mardi Gras. And I'm just going to blend that out. It blends out really nicely, so I love this palette. I've never cream contoured really before, and it's really easy with this color, so I love that. And I'm also just adding that to my temples and around the perimeter of my forehead just to kind of warm up my face a little bit. And then I'm going to go back in with my concealer and just highlight my forehead, my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin, and then just blend that out. And once again, to set the concealer, I'm taking my Airspun powder and just popping that everywhere that I put the concealer. And to set the cream contour, I'm going to take the shade Sculpt from the same Pro Glow palette and just go right on top of it and just make sure that everything is nice and blended out and doesn't look muddy on my face. And then to clean up my contour, I'm just taking my Airspun powder again on this eyeshadow brush and just packing this right underneath that contour and making it nice and sharp. For blush, I'm taking my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in the shade Flush. It's just this really pretty pink shade. I figured it would go really good with the look, and I'm just putting that all over my cheeks. And then I'm going back in with the same Pro Glow palette, and I'm taking the shades Strobe and Stunner for my highlight and just popping that on the tops of my cheekbones, and then of course on my Cupid's bow, on my nose, my chin, and then I'm also going to put it right on top of my eyebrow and kind of round it around my eye. I saw Desi Perkins do this in her one of her last videos, and I thought it was really cool. And then I'm taking my finger to highlight the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose just to make it a little bit more intense, you know? And then I'm going to set my face with the Mario Badescu Rosewater spray and just make myself look extra glowy and natural and fresh. And then for lips, I'm taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Lipstick in the shade Pure Hollywood. I had to go with the nude since the eyes are so crazy, and I love the way that it turned out. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed this Mardi Gras tutorial. And yeah, if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up for me and make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to see all my new videos. And make sure you follow me on all my social media, which I always link down below, along with all of the products that I used. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!